Sports Saturday. It's A-Day, and we've got the A-Team on the job. Gary and Rodney, give us the analysis. Scotty, beam us up with post-game sound. And Coach Saban never disappoints.
And I can still play quarterback. Okay, I can sling it a little bit.
Thanks, Coach. You want energy? How about this guy?
Sweet tea, lemonade, kettle corn, yum, yum, gotta get some, yeah, baby!
Whoa, yeah! Can't beat that. It's Sports Saturday. We're pulling out the muscle. Plus, Dana Duckworth and the Tide gymnasts roll for lucky number 7 at the Super 6 in Texas.
Roll Tide.
Say it with enthusiasm.
Roll Tide!
So come on down. Grab a drink. We're showing you the goods. It's 15 minutes of in-your-face action. It's Sports Saturday, and it starts right now. There you go, a high-octane start to Sports Saturday, and the fans at A-Day were fired up, too, to see live football. It was announced as a 65,175-person crowd, the lowest in the Saban era, but that's okay. Still good enough to be one of the largest spring game attendances in the country. Welcome in, everybody, to Sports Saturday. I'm BJ Millican. BJ here, Jen there, and Jen, a great day because it was a day of football, and that's great.
That's right. It was the culmination of spring drills for the Tide and a big chance for us to see the guys in action. So here comes the Crimson team, but it would be the White who would strike first. Jake Coker with the 40-yard bomb. This would be to sophomore Adarius Stewart for the score, and it was a huge day for that young man.
That's right, the kid from Fultondale. Then, right before the half, the White pouring it on. Here comes big Derek King Henry. He lost a 7 in the offseason. I had to remember what I wrote, but he gets 6 there. 46 yards for Henry. White led 17-0 with the story of the day. 6 interceptions by Bama quarterbacks. One of them right here goes to Maurice Smith. He's got a convoy. He's going to score. I think he might have been down on a replay, but that's okay. 51 yards to the house. The White gets the win, 27-14. They're going to eat steak. Our own Scott Braswell spoke to the guys after the game.
Thanks, BJ. Another A-Day is in the books. Now, afterwards, we were there when Coach Saban and players spoke about the scrimmage. And now, for your viewing pleasure, I present A-Day Sound Off.
If I had to play on those two teams, I would have played better on the White team. That's me playing quarterback. And I can still play quarterback. Okay, I can sling it a little bit. I can, I can't see very well. All right, and I might not be able to avoid the rush like I used to.
Well, I told Chris Ball that I don't lose when I wear white, so I was pretty pumped about that, and that's going to feel pretty good sitting across from him and watching him eat those bean Wheaties out of a plastic plate.
It's almost like midterm in school. It's not the final exam. It kind of shows you the progress that you've made to this point.
The biggest point of emphasis was turnovers, getting the ball out, and, I think we went out there today and really showed, that we got people breaking on the ball fast and, we're really disruptive.
Being a running back, third down when the ball is called, you got to make the play, you got to get the first down, and that's what coaches talk about. You got to be able to make the play when the play is called, so that's what I try to do.
There can be no great conclusions drawn from any of what happened today, other than, we're pleased with what we saw in some of the guys. We'll certainly take that into fall camp and this summer and try to build on it.
Word to the wise there from Coach Saban. That's all for me, Jen. BJ, back to you.
Thanks, Scotty. Good work. Here are some of the numbers. The Coker and Cornwell, the Coker, that's what I call him. They posted the best stats for the quarterback position. A lot of young contributors, including Ardarius Stewart, Robert Foster at their wide receiver position. They combined for 243 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day.
Well, continuing our A-Day coverage now with some analysis of this game, we turn to sports director Gary Harris and Rodney Orr from TiderInsider.com. Guys?
Thank you, Jen. I am with Rodney Orr from Tider Insider TV. And Rodney, the White team wins the A-Day game 27-14 over the Crimson. Just your impression from what you saw out here on Saturday.
Well, first of all, Gary, obviously a lot of really good athletes. I think when you look at it on the defensive side of the ball, I saw a lot of talent in the secondary, young talent, guys with a lot of athletic ability. We saw Ronnie Harrison, the young freshman who enrolled early, made an interception. He certainly looked good athletically. I thought that Marlon Humphrey, even though we didn't get to see too much of him, I didn't, but I thought that he certainly showed that he's a guy that's going to be a factor down the road somewhere as a cornerback. But, you know, Josh Frazier's another young player up front defensively that I thought really stood out. Those are just some of the guys that maybe, you know, we really haven't heard a lot about to this point. And, you know, I thought that of some of the other guys, obviously Reuben Foster. I think he looks like he's made a lot of progress throughout this spring.
Of course, a lot of people, most people watching the quarterbacks, all 5 of them played. All 5 had their moments, but a lot of interceptions. And Coach Saban talked about that post-game. Can't turn the ball over and be successful on it.
Yeah, and I think it's really hard too, Gary, when you're talking about how many of those quarterbacks have split reps this spring. I think it makes it difficult when you're, you know, repping 5 different guys, and obviously they're still trying to work with a new group of wide receivers, which, speaking of the wide receivers, I thought Robert Foster looked really good. I thought Ardarius Stewart, we always thought he had big playability. I think he looks like he's going to be an outstanding player as well.
Indeed. Robert Foster and Ardarius Stewart, the 2 young wide receivers, were co-MVPs of the game as voted on by the media. For Rodney Orr, I'm Gary Harris. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, guys. We'll have more in just a bit, including last year's captains who got to put their hands into the Walk of Fame at Denny Chimes.
That's right. But first, there were some other spring games going on in the SEC. For example, down on the Plains, the Auburn Tigers held their version of A-Day. It was a chance for Auburn fans to get an extended look at their new signal caller, Jeremy Johnson, and the big man from Montgomery did not disappoint. He throws for 252 yards, 2 scores in the game. Here's Coach Malzahn's assessment of his new quarterback.
Jeremy did some good things. You know, he has real good command of our offense. Probably held the ball a little too long on a couple plays, but overall I thought he did a good job.
I played okay. I didn't perform to my best that I thought I should have performed, but I did okay. And it was just really about giving our receivers a chance and let them make plays down the field.
Here are some notes from the other 3 spring games in the SEC today. Mississippi State's Dak Prescott was in fine form. 3 passing touchdowns today in Starkville. In Baton Rouge, the D&D connection had quite a day between Dupree and Doral, combined for 4 receiving touchdowns. So spring practice is officially over in Alabama, but still plenty of other sports going on.
That's right. Next, it's 4 games between Bama's baseball teams and softball teams, and some exciting ones too. Plus, the Crimson Tide gymnastics team was going for Lucky 7 in Fort Worth. Could Dana Duckworth and the Tide bring home another trophy? Highlights and results are next on Sports Saturday. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back. This is your...
Walk-on football players to the University of Alabama football team in 1967. Today at the annual A-Club meeting, they received honorary membership into the club, honoring their achievement. For Doc Rohn, he says at this time he wasn't thinking about being a trailblazer.
I was more interested in playing football than being a pioneer or making a statement. That wasn't the case. It was, I want to play football, and the way I had to do it was go talk to him, and that's what I did. And but as far as making a statement, being a pioneer, that didn't enter my mind.
The him that Doc was mentioning was Paul Bear Bryant, who told him he came to talk with him and say, "I admire your courage, young man." So a great story there, doing something which at the time no one had ever done in Alabama.
That's right. Well, you know, Dana Duckworth had never been a head coach at the collegiate level until this year. That hasn't really hindered her. Tonight, she had her first-year team competing in the Super 6 for a national title. The Tide would start on the vault and earn their highest scores of the night, taking the early lead.
Senior Caitlin Clark and junior Lauren Beers competing on all 4 events. Beers posted a team-high 995 on vault, but the Tide scores lower than their season normals on the remaining events. Junior Carly Sims finished out the meet with a team-high 99 on the floor. The Tide finished 4th as the Florida Gators win their 3rd straight national championship. And here's how it looked for Alabama. The Tide finishes 4th. Not pictured is the Auburn Tigers, who finished in 6th. If you want to get technical, that's 116 in a row over Auburn. So maybe take some solace in that for Alabama gymnastics fans.
That's right.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
The Alabama softball team also had a chance to beat their top rival, the Auburn Tigers.
That's
twice
right.
today.
They had a chance to
Now
beat
it's
them
your
twice.
turn. Go ahead.
A doubleheader. We'll start with the last game, and without a doubt, the most exciting. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage. Tied at 10 in the 7th. Winning run at third for Auburn. They get greedy, though. Watch this. Auburn attempts to steal home, but no. Leslie Jury says, not on my watch. What a play. Then in the 8th, Leona Lafayette goes Lafayette around the bases. That's right. A 2-run bomb. Bama up 12-10. But it ain't over yet, folks. No, no, no. 4 hours and counting. Auburn tied the game at 12, and right there, Emily Carsone, the grounder, the double play started, but a throwing error wins the game for Auburn. They avoid the sweep, winning the ball game. What a game, 13-12. But Bama did win the game 2 earlier in the day, 13-3. Bama wins the series. They come out of this series 35-10, 12-6 in the SEC.
A great day on the hill for Jake Walters. He threw 7 shutout innings for the Tide. He also got some help from his offense in the 6th inning. Whooping sticks engaged. Casey Houston with the 2-run shot to right. Bama first on the board. They would go up 2-0, and then still with it 2-0 in the 8th. Here comes Georgie. Oh, Georgie. Oh, Georgie. Gone solo. Bama goes up 3-0, and Bama hits 4 homers in game 1, a 6-0 win. Wow. Not so much luck in the second game. Bama drops the game 5-3 and the series 2-1. The Tide is back in action on Tuesday. They'll host Mississippi Valley State in a doubleheader starting at 2 p.m.
That's right. I hope you're still hungry for pigskin because we have just a little bit more for you. If you're still hungry.
Alabama's permanent captains get immortalized at Demi Chimes. We'll hear from them coming up next.
Let's knock my papers off. It's part of the legacy of Crimson Tide football when you're selected by your teammates as a permanent captain. You put your hand and footprints in the cement at Denny Chimes. I said Demi. What is that? 4 more guys added their names to that legacy. For Amari Cooper and Justin Fowler, they say it means quite a lot.
It's great. I think it's something that down the road I'll come back and bring my kids here and show them. It's an even greater feeling to have it chosen by my peers, my teammates, because they believe that I was a captain.
I mean, it's a great feeling to be voted on by your peers as team captain. I mean, it's a big honor for me because your teammates just think of you as a guy who leads the team. So that's really big for me.
There you go. Blake Sims, Landon Collins also honored today. Fortunately for us, that's all the time we have for Sports Saturday.
Fortunately for you, that's all the time we have.
Hey, this was like an A-day for us. We were kind of going through some reps. We did some good things. We did some bad things. But hopefully tomorrow is another day.
Yeah, we've got a great show for tomorrow night.
I know. I've already started looking at it. It's exciting. She did a little swimming.
That's right.
With an Alabama swimmer who was actually the SEC Swimmer of the Year.
Correct, and he was an Olympian, and I raced him in the pool, so you'll want to see if I beat him or not. Come on now.
Exactly.
Can't tell you.
This one is very competitive.
So is he, though. He did not want to lose to me.
He's a swimmer, of course.
Well,
he's
yeah, it was a great fight.
There you go. Well, tune in tomorrow for that Sports Sunday. We leave you with scenes from A-Day. Good night, everybody.
Good night.